The high-stakes world of commercial crab fishing in the Bering Sea, beneath the excitement of high-seas drama, lies a haunting undercurrent of tragedy, a sobering tale of lives lost to the merciless ocean. Each season is a reminder of the sea's unforgiving nature, and as the icy waters continue to claim lives, one must ask, how many more must be sacrificed before we fully grasp the gravity of the risks these fishermen face? For nearly 2 decades, Deadliest Catch has captivated audiences worldwide with its unflinching portrayal of commercial crab fishing, showcasing the heart-stopping moments aboard vessels tossed by tempestuous seas while peeling back the layers to reveal a deeper story, one of perseverance, profound loss, and the indomitable spirit required to survive in such a perilous environment. The question looms large: what drives these captains and their crews to return to the sea season after season despite the constant danger? The answer lies not only in the promise of financial reward but also in tradition, pride, and a deep connection to the sea that defines their way of life. Alaska's frigid waters are no playground. They are treacherous, hostile, and often deadly. The fierce competition for crabs means that hundreds of boats head out, risking everything to haul in their share of the catch. The television series may focus on a few vessels, but the reality is far broader, with countless others also navigating these lethal waters, each with its own story of hardship and endurance. Every deck is a battlefield where one misstep can mean serious injury or death. Waves smash against the hulls with relentless force, freezing winds cut through layers of clothing, and the decks become slick, icy gauntlets. But it's not just the physical challenges that weigh heavily. The emotional and psychological tolls are equally punishing. These men and women, driven by a mix of hope and necessity, are constantly tested, not just by nature but by the ghosts of their own pasts. One of the most emotionally resonant stories in the series is that of Jake Anderson, a captain whose path to the wheelhouse has been paved with immense personal tragedy. Once homeless and battling substance abuse, Jake's struggles were already daunting before he was hit with even more sorrow. In Season 5, he received the heartbreaking news of his sister's sudden death while at sea, a moment that rocked him to his core. As if that weren't enough, just a year later his father mysteriously vanished, only to be found dead in his abandoned truck. These crushing events could have destroyed anyone, but Jake persisted, returning to the sea with a fierce determination that spoke volumes of his resilience. Jake's story is just one of many that expose the deeply human element of Deadliest Catch. Another example is Joshua Tell Warner, a deckhand whose secret past as a bank robber came back to haunt him. Between 2007 and 2009, Warner had committed a string of bank thefts before joining the show. When authorities connected the dots and arrested him in 2010, his promising television career ended abruptly, and he was sentenced to nearly a decade in prison. His tale was a shocking reminder that many of these seemingly heroic fishermen are also battling inner demons and difficult pasts. Reality television might glamorize aspects of their lives, but it cannot shield anyone from justice or personal consequences. Then there's Captain Sig Hansen, one of the most iconic and enduring figures in the series. Born on April 28, 1966, in Seattle, Washington, Sig is a fourth-generation fisherman who inherited both a love for and an obligation to the sea from his Norwegian father. By age 24, he had become captain of the Northwestern, fulfilling a legacy that had been years in the making. Throughout the show's history, Sig has been portrayed as a pillar of strength and leadership, mentoring younger fishermen like Jake Anderson and ensuring that his family name remains synonymous with Alaskan fishing excellence. His daughter, Mandy Hansen, has since stepped into the family business, pushing through skepticism in the male-dominated industry and proving herself capable of surviving and thriving in one of the harshest professions on Earth. Despite his commanding presence, Sig has not been immune to personal and professional hardship. His on-screen heart attack was a jarring moment for fans and crew alike, exposing the very real physical dangers that come with a life spent battling the elements. His close friendship with Captain Phil Harris added another layer of emotion to his journey, and Phil's death was a deeply felt loss. During Season 6, Phil suffered a stroke, and in a raw and powerful moment insisted that the cameras continue to roll as he fought for his life. He ultimately passed away just days later, leaving behind his sons, Josh and Jake Harris, and an audience devastated by his loss. Since then, Josh has tried to uphold his father's legacy by captaining the Cornelia Marie, facing numerous personal and professional obstacles along the way. Jake Harris, on the other hand, has struggled more visibly, his battle with addiction playing out in and out of the public eye. His downward spiral, marked by run-ins with the law and attempts at recovery, serves as a harsh reminder of the mental health challenges many fishermen face after prolonged exposure to the stress and isolation of life at sea. The challenges faced by the crew members who filmed Deadliest Catch are no less daunting than those of the fishermen themselves. These camera operators spend up to 5 weeks on the vessels, capturing more than 30,000 hours of footage each season under the same perilous conditions. They must contend with saltwater damage, freezing temperatures, and the constant risk of injury, all while striving to document the raw intensity that makes the show so compelling. While some scenes are enhanced or refilmed for dramatic effect, the danger is never faked. What viewers see is largely the real deal, genuine high-risk labor carried out by people who put their lives on the line for every dollar earned. Financial hardship also looms large in the lives of these fishermen. Alaskan crew members often rely on state subsidies just to make ends meet, while out-of-state workers tend to earn higher wages. The 2005 implementation of the quota-based catch share system helped improve safety by allowing crews to wait for more favorable weather, but the Bering Sea remains one of the deadliest workplaces on Earth. Injuries, accidents, and fatalities are still a grim part of this industry. Over the years, the series has seen several high-profile exits, such as the Hillstrand brothers, who departed after a legal dispute, and Captain Elliot Neese, whose struggles with addiction led to his departure. Although he celebrated 90 days of sobriety in 2017, Elliot was arrested again in 2022 for drug trafficking, resulting in a prison sentence. His downfall is a somber illustration of how quickly personal demons can resurface, especially in an environment as high-pressure as commercial fishing. Tragedy hasn't spared the production crew either. One of the most shocking off-camera events was the murder of director Joseph McMahon, who was fatally shot outside his home. Other crew members, like Nick Mavar, have also succumbed to their personal struggles, with Nick's death from a drug overdose shaking both cast and fans. These losses serve as painful reminders that behind the thrilling episodes are real people with real vulnerabilities, many of whom battle substance abuse, depression, and the lingering psychological effects of their experiences at sea. The path to becoming a commercial fisherman in Alaska may appear straightforward: get a license, get a boat, but true survival demands grit, expertise, and years of hard-earned knowledge. Most of the individuals featured on Deadliest Catch have spent their lives on the water, learning from family tradition and personal trial. They know how to read the sea, navigate storms, and handle equipment in conditions that would send most people running. Even seasoned veterans like Sig Hansen face health scares and emotional challenges that never get easier with time. His 2 heart attacks were sobering events that tested his will and resolve, but his continued presence on the show underscores his deep commitment to his family, his crew, and the legacy he has built. It is this balance of hardship and humanity that keeps Deadliest Catch relevant and emotionally resonant. Unlike other reality shows that rely on contrived conflict and artificial suspense, this series delivers real stakes, real losses, and real courage. The storms are not metaphorical. The danger is not scripted. The people are not playing characters. They are living their truth under the harshest of circumstances. The Bering Sea is a violent and unpredictable arena where towering waves, freezing temperatures, and fatigue test the mettle of even the toughest crews. Teamwork is not optional. It is a matter of survival. Even though safety measures have improved, the threat of death always looms. For every captain featured on television, there are dozens more out there risking everything without cameras rolling. Many of them face crushing economic pressure, with the high cost of boat maintenance, gear, and labor often outweighing their profits. A bad season can mean losing a home or being forced to sell a vessel passed down through generations. In desperate bids to stay afloat, some fishermen venture into dangerous waters or fish in treacherous conditions, further amplifying the risks they face. These behind-the-scenes realities add even greater depth to the stories told on Deadliest Catch. The personal journeys of the Harris brothers after their father's death, Josh's effort to captain the Cornelia Marie and Jake's battles with addiction, offer powerful insights into the emotional and psychological weight carried by those in this industry. Isolation, exhaustion, and the pressure to succeed can drive even the strongest individuals to the brink. Beyond the addiction narratives, the emotional toll of prolonged absences from home is staggering. These men and women miss birthdays, holidays, and important milestones. Their family lives often fraying under the weight of absence and risk. For some, the sea becomes a refuge from problems on land. For others, it is a contributing force to their unraveling. Yet amidst all this hardship, there are stories of empowerment and triumph, such as that of Mandy Hansen. As the daughter of Sig Hansen, Mandy entered an overwhelmingly male industry with determination and resilience. She faced skepticism from those who doubted her capabilities but earned her place through hard work, skill, and unshakable grit. Her story serves as a beacon for women in the industry and an inspiring subplot within the broader narrative of survival and legacy. Ultimately, Deadliest Catch is more than a reality show. It is a visceral, unfiltered chronicle of the human spirit's capacity to endure. It shines a spotlight on the hidden, storm-lashed world of crab fishing, celebrating the bravery of those who navigate its perils and mourning those it claims. As long as the Bering Sea continues to challenge those who dare to confront it, the stories of these fishermen, of hardship, loss, and unyielding resolve, will continue to resonate deeply with audiences around the globe. Even as Deadliest Catch sails past its 20th season, the show continues to evolve, taking on new dimensions with the introduction of younger captains, shifting regulations, and changing ocean conditions brought on by climate change. The sea itself is no longer the same creature it was when the show first aired. Rising temperatures, shifting crab migration patterns, and decreasing populations have forced crews to adapt or risk financial ruin. Entire seasons have been cancelled or cut short due to quota changes and conservation efforts aimed at preserving dwindling crab stocks, leaving crews devastated and viewers confronting a stark reality: nature is fighting back. Once abundant king crab and snow crab fisheries have seen alarming declines, forcing some boats to pivot to other species or mothball their vessels altogether. These changes are not merely inconveniences, they are existential threats to the livelihoods of multi-generational fishing families who have relied on the ocean for survival. The environmental uncertainty echoes through every episode, amplifying the tension as each pot is hauled onto the deck. When a pot comes up empty, the silence is deafening. When a pot is full, it's a fleeting triumph, not a guarantee. Crews celebrate, but they also know the next string might bring nothing. There's a raw honesty in these moments. A reminder that nature holds all the cards and that no amount of technology, experience, or determination can alter the whims of the sea. It is this precarious balance between success and failure, life and death, that keeps the audience hooked, season after season. Each crab pot pulled from the depths carries with it not only the hope of a good haul but also the heavy burden of sustaining livelihoods, supporting families, and preserving traditions that stretch back generations. Behind the adrenaline and action, there is a quiet dignity to the work these fishermen perform. They are not chasing fame or fortune in the way other reality TV stars might. Their fame, for many, is an unintended consequence of simply doing what they have always done, risking everything for a living that most would never dare attempt. Their strength lies not only in their physical toughness but in their mental fortitude, their ability to endure grueling schedules, unrelenting cold, and the ever-present specter of loss. When a vessel goes missing or a man is swept overboard, the ripples of that tragedy spread far beyond the deck. Communities grieve. Families mourn. Fellow fishermen carry the loss silently, knowing it could just as easily have been them. Deadliest Catch does not shy away from these moments of devastation. It honors them, giving viewers a glimpse into the stark realities that underpin every journey into the Bering Sea. In a way, Deadliest Catch functions as an ongoing eulogy to those who have been lost, a way of bearing witness to the price of survival. From the heart-wrenching tributes to fallen captains like Phil Harris, to the quiet nods to the nameless and faceless fishermen who have perished off camera, the show stands as a testament to human resilience and human fragility. It reminds us that behind every gritty fisherman is a mother, a father, a child, a spouse waiting anxiously for their safe return. The show's commitment to authenticity has made it a touchstone for other reality series, setting a high bar that few have matched. Unlike the polished and often scripted world of competitive reality shows, Deadliest Catch remains raw and unfiltered, embracing the messiness, the unpredictability, and the brutal truths of its subject matter. That authenticity comes at a cost, not just to the fishermen, but also to the production crews who brave the same deadly elements to capture every harrowing moment on film. The camera operators, often unsung heroes, risk hypothermia, injury, and even death to document the drama as it unfolds. They live in cramped, freezing conditions, sleeping mere hours between exhausting shifts. They, too, form bonds with the fishermen, share in their victories and losses, and feel the weight of every tragedy that strikes. Their work ensures that viewers experience the Bering Sea not as detached spectators, but as witnesses to a brutal and beautiful dance with nature's fiercest forces. As the seasons have progressed, new faces have joined the veteran captains, bringing fresh perspectives and new challenges to the fleet. Young captains like Sean Dwyer, who took the helm of the Brenner A after the death of his father, embody the next generation's blend of respect for tradition and willingness to adapt to a changing world. Sean's story is one of love, duty, and the heavy burden of living up to a legacy, themes that resonate deeply with viewers. In recent seasons, the environmental challenges have become impossible to ignore. Shifting migration patterns, warming ocean temperatures, and stricter regulations have forced many boats to seek alternative catches or face financial ruin. Entire seasons have been decimated by low crab numbers, leaving crews scrambling to make ends meet. For the men and women who have dedicated their lives to crab fishing, these changes are not abstract scientific concepts, they are existential threats that imperil their very way of life. The sea is changing, and with it, so too must the fishermen. Some adapt by investing in new equipment, diversifying their catches, or taking on off-season work in other fisheries. Others find the changes too great to overcome and leave the industry altogether, taking with them generations of hard-earned knowledge and tradition. Each departure is a small death, a quiet erosion of a culture that has weathered centuries of storms. The sense of community among fishermen remains one of the show's most poignant elements. Rivalries exist, but so too does a profound camaraderie born of shared danger and mutual respect. When tragedy strikes one boat, the entire fleet feels it. They may compete fiercely for crab, but they are bound together by the sea, and by the understanding that any one of them could be next. In moments of crisis, this bond becomes painfully clear. When the Time Bandit suffered a devastating engine failure far from shore, other boats rushed to their aid without hesitation. When a crew member is injured or lost, captains put aside competition to offer comfort and support. These glimpses of solidarity remind viewers that, in the end, survival is not just an individual battle, it is a collective endeavor. Beyond the physical dangers and financial hardships, the emotional toll of life at sea continues to exact a heavy price. Mental health struggles are a common, if often unspoken, reality among fishermen. The long stretches away from loved ones, the constant proximity to danger, and the cumulative stress of the job can lead to depression, substance abuse, and even suicide. Deadliest Catch has, at times, peeled back the curtain on these issues, offering a raw and compassionate look at the hidden costs of this lifestyle. Jake Harris's battles with addiction, broadcast for the world to see, were not isolated cases. They reflected a broader crisis within the fishing community, one that continues to claim lives long after the cameras stop rolling. Yet even in the darkest moments, stories of redemption emerge. Josh Harris's efforts to rebuild his life and honor his father's memory serve as powerful reminders that healing is possible, even after unimaginable loss. As Deadliest Catch moves into the future, it faces the challenge of maintaining its emotional authenticity while adapting to an evolving world. The newer generation of fishermen, including figures like Mandy Hansen and Sean Dwyer, bring fresh energy and new storylines, but the core themes remain the same: risk, resilience, loss, and the unbreakable bond between those who make their living from the sea. The show's enduring success lies in its ability to tell deeply human stories against the backdrop of a merciless natural world. It captures not only the thunderous power of the Bering Sea but also the quieter, more intimate moments of hope, fear, and perseverance that define the human experience. It reminds viewers that bravery is not the absence of fear, but the decision to press forward in spite of it. For every wave that crashes over the bow, for every empty pot hauled from the depths, there is a story of someone who dared to dream, dared to hope, and dared to fight against impossible odds. Deadliest Catch ensures those stories are not forgotten. It honors the sacrifices made by fishermen and their families, and in doing so, it invites us all to bear witness to the extraordinary courage it takes simply to survive. In a world that often glamorizes ease and comfort, Deadliest Catch stands apart as a stark, unflinching tribute to those who choose a harder path, who face the storm not because they seek glory, but because it is in their blood, in their bones, in their history. It is a reminder that real heroism often comes not in moments of triumph, but in moments of quiet endurance, in the willingness to set out into the unknown, again and again, with no guarantee of return. As long as there are fishermen willing to brave the Bering Sea, there will be stories worth telling. Stories of heartbreak and hope, of loss and love, of resilience and redemption. Deadliest Catch will continue to chronicle these stories, casting its net across the churning waters of human experience and hauling aboard the truths that so many would rather leave hidden. In doing so, it reaffirms an essential truth, that the greatest journeys are not those taken across oceans, but those undertaken within the human heart.